The beauty of entrepreneurship is you're building and creating something from these that's yours. I'm Brandon Franklin, owner of BM Franklin & Company, and I'm a hat maker. BM Franklin & Company is a full-service hat shop where we use rabbit, beaver, chinchilla, different finishes from suede to velour. So what drew me to hat making is two different things that I'm obsessed with: history and fashion. So history and fashion really come together when you think of hat making and how old just hat wearing is. Being a student is paying attention to other milliners who are at your level or even beyond, you know, and okay, you know what, I'm not looking at your stuff so I can go and copy it, but looking at this stuff like, okay, wow, this is inspirational because I can see the technique that this person used. I worked for Ralph Lauren for quite some time, and I just love how he tells a story through each one of his garments. So that kind of opened up the mental door for me to be like, okay, you know what? I want to work in fashion, but I don't want to work in traditional, you know, runway fashion. And then I kind of hit a ceiling at Ralph Lauren, and I left in search for something a little bit more hands-on. So that history, that storytelling fashion, I wanted to be a part of still, but I wanted to be in control over what I was selling. So I wanted to learn how to make something. Just by happenstance, I ended up meeting the owner of one of the oldest hat shops in New York City, which is called Worth & Worth. I basically forced my way into a position. I would just show up every day until he was just like, damn, you know what, this kid's actually contributing to, you know, my business, and he's contributing to his knowledge. So I would go there and read books, I would go there and tinker with the hats. But that's where my love started. Education in hat making was really 80% access. It was me kind of teaching myself and then watching my boss do his thing. I really felt passionate and strongly about hat making, and I was like, I need to know everything about this. After 7 years, like, you know what, I think I can jump out the window and, you know, and start this on my own. And that was after I learned every aspect of not only just the craft, but the business and the industry. It's constant learning. Learning sometimes can be reminders. I have this book that was published in, I think, 1919. Now, sometimes I'll tap back into that book. Sometimes it helps to be reminded of where you came from, what you've already learned in order to continue to move forward. Researching, going back to that research, and an inspiration from people who are here is how I personally continue my education as a hat maker. My style it's a bit of flair, but it's definitely rooted in tradition. Being able to see the union between the two, between respecting history, but also not necessarily completely changing the wheel, but throwing some 20s on it. We want people to realize and notice our pieces by the construction and the quality. So the process in which people will come in and choose, it starts with building relationships. When that client comes in, I already kind of got an idea of who that person is as soon as they walk through the door, but then we get into the technicals. We measure their head, we're kind of getting an idea of what works best for their face, their features. Next, after that, we choose material. And then once we figure out the materials, we then move on to the details. We're talking about color, and then we're talking about silk linings, we're talking about all the stuff that goes into the hat that'll help tell that person's story. We're designing this piece to last longer than them, so that they could potentially pass it down. I feel like it's important to master something because while going through it, it teaches you patience, it teaches you discipline, it teaches you consistency. It's important to always remain a student so that you can continue to grow. Grow as a business owner and grow as a craftsman. I'm Brandon Franklin, owner of BM Franklin & Company, and I'm a hat maker.